Okay, this is Mario here showing you how to take apart your dryer and also to clean out the lint. I was doing more than that while I was doing this work, but first thing you want to do is make sure you unplug your dryer, take out the electricity. You don't want to work with a dryer that's plugged in. I also unscrewed the doors using a cordless drill. All right. As we go further, you'll see I did eventually turn off the power. So I took off the doors, and now I have to take out the clasp or the brackets for the door. Make sure you put everything back in a location where you'll find them and you keep them separate. Okay. I had to take off the front panel. These just snap off. All right, and then the top part snaps up, and then you unscrew the parts here with your wrench. You could use socket wrenches. You can also use screwdrivers. This is the fan area that I need to clean out. You see I'm using my hand to show you how much lint is in there, because when you have that much lint in your dryer, you will not be able to dry your clothes effectively. Plus it becomes a fire hazard. So I used a stick in this case to just take it out, and then soon after I will be using a vacuum cleaner. There's a lot of lint in that dryer. Okay, so you want to make sure that you take everything out, and then once you do all of that, your dryer will be working as good as new. We're almost done and everything is out. So you can see the pile of lint at the bottom. I had already removed the drum because I was also changing the belt in the pulleys for my dryers. That's why I removed the drum. And so you still see dust and lint on the floor of the dryer inside. So I'm vacuuming that, getting rid of all of that so that it doesn't go back into the fan area and settle in there. So that's how you're doing that. And then once we're done with all the vacuuming, I'm putting everything back together, putting the drum back. I'm also going to put the facing. It's important that you keep the screws where they need to be so that you can figure out how to put them back. It also helps to take pictures of where the screws are, just in case you get confused. And so I screwed everything in by hand first, and then I used a screwdriver and the socket wrench to tighten everything up. And be careful because there are very sharp edges, so you can get cut very easily. Fortunately, I did not get cut, but just be careful. And as you're putting everything back, make sure the wires are not in the way or nothing gets trapped behind any metal, because that will become a hazard if the wires are against any sharp metal. So we're really making sure that we set up the framing. Make sure you tighten everything up. Not too tight because you don't want to break any of the screws. Alright, so we're almost ready to put the facing back on. Okay, I pulled down the top part. That one didn't come off completely, it just props up. This is a Maytag dryer, by the way. Alright, so you see the brackets, they hook up to the top, and then you secure them with a screw there. And the same applies for the other side, the left side of the dryer. We're going to do the same thing. So that hooks up. So remember how you take things apart, and make sure you keep track of all your parts. I'm just making sure it's secure there. Tighten everything back up. Again, be very careful with the sharp metal so that you do not cut yourself. And when you're taking things apart, you'll notice there's some rust. I didn't get to address that, but you could always address that when you want to. Okay, snap everything back in. Now I'm ready to put the door back. I'm going to put them in the slot. Okay, and then on the other side are the screws, so I'm going to screw that in. Oh, I forgot to remind you, you see the light inside the dryer is not on because I did unplug it. So remember that. Do not work with any electricity connected to your dryer. That would be a big hazard. I snap these back in, screw them back in. Okay, and we're almost done. Just need to make sure everything works the way it's supposed to. Yep. Close the door, turn it on, and we're done. You like what you saw? Subscribe.